Hey guys, King of Charmanders here to be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you, this is still the best ABB team for the Kanto Cup. At least, I feel like it's a lot better now, just because since a lot of people are using, like, you'll see a lot of, like, Lapras leads take out Shadow Nidoqueens, at least I see nowadays. And it's because not a lot of people are using Shadow Machamps, or I just haven't seen too many. I've seen them, believe me, they're there. But yeah, but you want to catch them in the lead with this team anyways, just because this is why we have ABB. You have one thing covered by two typings that will cover the other one well of what it's weak to, or they're just giant tanks. In this case, we have two super tanks. This is Nidoqueen, Lapras, and Dewgong. You can use Shadow Nidoqueen, it's really up to you. I use the regular one though. I find the extra bulk can matter a lot in some instances, because sometimes you're going to be relying on Earth Power nukes. You're going to see me combo my way to victory here, fight a lot of Legends, and lose the lead against a lot of Laprases. So, if you lose the lead with Nidoqueen, Lapras is going to be your safe switch. Lapras and Hypno are the pretty general safe switches for the Kanto Cup, because Lapras is thick. If you get that extra, Skull Bash allows you to boost, and it also beats all the other water tanks, including itself. You're gonna go down a shield, but hopefully Dewgong, you'll see a lot. Dewgong can take out your opponent's Nidoqueen, and flyers that they have in the back. You're gonna see that a lot here. So, through a lot of combinations, this team is pretty legit, and it's still really freaking good. Statistically, it was the best ABB team for the last two Kanto Cups, and it still is the best ABB team in my opinion. Well, statistically, it's still the best ABB team, because there's not really other. Two water tanks are thick, okay? When you got a big booty, when you got a big butt, you can take a lot of damage, because you're going to fall on your butt 1,000 times, and then you can get back up, because your butt is bouncy, and yeah, I'm going to stop talking about butts now. Anyways, before we get started, this is my therapist mental health tip of the day. So, if you would like to skip this, you can go ahead. If you just go into I put chapters in my videos, because I put the work in, you know what I mean? So, you can skip the chapter below, and then you can just go straight to the battles. So just put your mouse there, cloak down, and then go straight to the battles. But for my therapist mental health of the day is going to be triggers. So when I work with school kids a lot, they have a lot of triggers nowadays. Well, you have a lot of triggers too. Yours is probably related to Go Battle League or just Pokemon Go PvP in general. So learning to identify and cope with your triggers is a popular strategy for the treatment of several problems, especially anger and addictions. So gaming addiction, social media addiction, Pokemon Go addiction. Yes, I know that's not an actual DSM-5, but a little bit of education on my side. In the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Manual, this is the master list of all mental illnesses out there. Social media and gaming addiction, just social media disorder social media addiction and gaming addiction just became a thing in the DSM-5. So now there's an official diagnosis. The good thing is it has to be beyond 12 months. So that's the 12-month span. That's a diagnosis. Usually diagnoses have a list of symptoms, also a timeline of how long it's been going on. In this case, it's 12 months, so it has to be a year. But it can even be for short-term times, like triggers, where you're just getting pissed off because you're losing every single lead, or you basically Go Battle League decides to screw you out of one because something lagged or something like that. So this is going to help you identify your triggers, and along with that, it can help you develop others and develop strategies to either avoid or cope with your triggers. So this worksheet was intentionally designed to be used with several different treatment problems, such as anger, substance abuse, or relationships. So again, I always put the description on below, so the worksheet, so you can do this one. And then it gives you, this is a good worksheet, a pretty basic one. I like it. It gives you your emotional states, people, thoughts, things, thoughts, or places. And then it even allows you to list out your triggers, and then allows you to put strategies. A very basic one, but also it works really well. And I've also used this with clients before. So there's my therapist mental health of the day. This is still the best ABB team for the Kanto Cup. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. So this is still the best ABB team in my opinion. You're going to see me go against like 4 or 5 legends and lose the lead a lot. Or get the mirror match. As you see here, we get Nidoqueen on Lapras. This is a terrible lead for you. So you're going to switch. If Nidoqueen loses the lead against something like an Alolan Sandslash or an Alolan Sandshrew, etc., you're going to switch into Lapras, try to surf it down, or in this case, if you get the Lapras rematch, you're going to try to Skull Bash each other to death. Now, here's what's rough nowadays about the new fix, because the game isn't completely fixed. I can still find you can deny in some instances, but it's kind of rare, unless you fire on CMP. But as you see here, if they go for the Skull Bash first, you're going to be behind just because they're going to have 1 Ice Shard of energy. So you're going to be behind as you see here. So I go a little bit over 1, and then I fire Skull Bash, which is alright. It doesn't really matter. As far as like the Ice Shard damage, we're not banking on the Ice Shard damage right now. I'm going to fire off a Surf. Our opponent's probably going to go for another Skull Bash. And then this Surf +1 should kill. So this +1 Ice Shard should kill because I've done actually more chip on my opponent because they didn't shield. I shielded 1 Skull Bash, they didn't. So as you see, my Ice Shard is going to go through. That Ice Shard that goes through should kill them. And then they send in Golbat, which is actually great for us. Because in this, well, actually, it's not super great. But you're just going to have to find... The reason why it's great is because now we have Dugong versus Golbat. Not super great, but we have an answer to whatever their back row is. Our opponent Poison Fangs down, I send in Dugong. And then our opponent switches into their Nidoqueen, which is exactly what we want, because with this Nidoqueen here, we took out the lead, which was our hardest counter. Now our opponent's like, ah, crap. So now we have something that core breaks our opponent's Golbat and their Nidoqueen backline. So all we gotta do here is literally stay in and Icy win them to death. Even if they try to Poison Fang me, it doesn't really matter at this point. I could just debuff it, and I still have a shield. So I have for my plan here is to just have them force their last shield. And then all I have to do is send a Nidoqueen in either Earth Power or just Poison Jab down. They let go of their Nidoqueen, and that was a mistake because now I'm going to be able to get to my move. All I have to do is shield this Poison Fang or Shadow Ball, either one. It doesn't really matter. Should be able to get this Icy Wind off, and then after that, because this Golbat is so low, all I got to do is send a Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen can just Poison Jab down for the victory. As you see, they block the Icy Wind. All I do is Poison Fang down, and Poison Jab down, and then just like a good 1-2, like, you know, like Baki. Well, Baki isn't like the greatest fighting anime I know, but then it's still good. So as you see here, bam, bam, GG's. For the second battle, you get Nidoqueen and Lapras. Guess what? They got the drip. They got the Drip Lapras. Yo, that wardrobe though. It's like freaking Rengoku and his freaking his Yukata. I'm talking about Demon Slayer. Yes, Rengoku has like a fire Yukata, and it's like so cool. So we get the mirror. It's the same thing as before. You want to get rid of the Lapras and hope that your opponent stays in. My opponent baits me with a Surf, and I am really pissed off right now. I am like Vegeta whenever he loses against Goku, because like, dang, I just got baited, and for some reason I see a Muck, and I'm like, wait, what? So they swapped? I didn't see that swap. Or it may have gone faster, I just wasn't paying attention. So now I got aim. Now think about this. This is still uncomfortable because now that we got that plus run from Skull Bash, I can possibly farm all the way down here. So as you see, I'm able to farm all the way down, which is terrible for our opponent because now I have a bazillion energy. I'm going to go for a Skull Bash, and mind you, I have a Skull Bash, my opponent doesn't. So my opponent's either going to Surf me again and bait me, or they're going to fire Skull Bash. Either way, I'm not going to shield this one. Because I'm like, alright, you know what? It might... Actually, I do shield. I was like, you know what? They might have a Skull Bash. And now they fire right away, so I already know this is a Surf. So I'm like, does this one just have Surf? So I called like the first two ones. They just baited the unholy crap out of me. The good thing is I have +3 on defense because they haven't Skull Bashed at all. I'm Skull Bashing my life away right now. I'm going head first. Like an NFL tackle, Ezekiel Jackson. I do watch a little bit of... I follow football. I don't watch too much football, but I played football when I was a sophomore year at school. That's pretty good. They're going to Surf myself to oblivion, and as you see, our Nidoqueen is going to take a humongous amount of damage just because Surf is super effective against ground types. We're going to Poison Fang down, and they shield, and my brain is like, why would you shield? And then they send in another Nidoqueen. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, okay. This Poison Fang will kill here. However, I got a Lapras. I got a Dugong. So what I've noticed is a lot of people are using Nidoqueens in the back, or like flyers. And that's why this ABB team is actually arguably better now than it was last time. Because not any people... There are a lot of people aren't using fighters in the back, they're using in the lead. So my brain's kind of confused. We got Nidoqueen on a Lickitung, you actually win this lead. So what's good about winning this, what's good about this matchup is that all you have to do is just straight Poison Fang to death. Poison Fang will debuff them enough. Of course, I'm using the regular Nidoqueen. You can elect to use the Shadow one, but I like having that little bit of extra bulk. I mean, either one works. But like the last battle, if I don't want to get yeeted by a Surf, because Surfs will do big damage against Shadow. But your Poison Fang damage will add up with Shadow as well. So we're gonna, all you have to do is just go straight Poison Fang against the Lickitung, and then you should be able to outright win this match. Now the iffy thing in here is that it's not quite a, like, it's not like a solid win, because you have to give up a shield with a regular Nidoqueen. With Shadow, you can kind of just run through them, but it doesn't really matter. As you see here, I'm going to risk the biscuit. I'm going to go for the Poison Fang bait. The reason you want to do this is I could possibly get to another Poison Fang. My opponent is definitely going to shield because they don't want to lose their Alolan Marowak. If that was an Earth Power, that would KO, since this is a Shadow Marowak. Or get close to KOing. It depends. I believe you don't KO a Shadow Marowak if it's a regular Nidoqueen. With Shadow you do, but I'm not sure with the other way around. Our opponent fires a Shadow Bone. This is gonna give me another Shadow Bone, so I will shield this one, and then I'm gonna fire this Icy Wind, or fire, not Icy Wind, Water Pulse. So Water Pulse, I'm banking my opponent's gonna think I'm gonna bait, and they do, which is great because one Water Pulse will kill because it's a Shadow. My opponent sends in their Lickitung, and all I'm going to do here is just Ice Shard down. Now we're gonna be able to take out this Lickitung and lock in our opponent's back row with Icy Winds. So as your Body Slam goes off, that's on enough to kill, and they send in a Pidgeot, which is great for us because guess what? We got double ice. So, ice, baby. Wow. For some of you, wow, that's a really old song. So if you guys don't know that one, like, it's okay. It's okay. King of Charmander is going to turn 30 today. It's okay. Or not today. This year I'm turning 30, so yeah. So as you see, we're going to surf down, and all we're going to do is we win this match, because even if you hit me with a Brave Bird, Lapras is so thick, it will survive. So all I have to do is just Ice Shard down. As you see, bam, we do survive the Brave Bird. We're going to Ice Shard down, and that's GG's. Nothing our opponent to do there. Double Ice, like I mentioned. With ABB, double Ice is pretty legit. You can either take out the lead with your Mirror Lapras and then have Nidoqueen and Dugong go to town, or you get the Mirror match as you see here. In the Mirror, I'm going to show you what you don't do on the next battle. For this one, you're going to have to try to finish it. Mind you, if you fire first, you're gonna, it really comes down to who fires first, because they're gonna always get the extra one through. With the newer mechanics, you will always get a fast move through no matter what. The good thing is that if you time it right, you're gonna get your refunds. So as you see here, I bait them, so I get the move, and then I call their Earth Power correctly, which is great. Now I'm gonna go straight Earth Power because we have that. Because we're in even energy right now, I will be ahead on them even if they shield this one, unless they decide to Poison Fang me to take back their shield, and then it's really up to them. I will shield this one regardless. If they Poison Fang me, that's dang, that's good. But at the same time, you want to shield anyways because it might be an Earth Power. So I managed to get an extra one through, and I'm able to catch my opponent's Alolan Raticate, which it's not a bad mod because Alolan Raticate does work against Alolan Marowak. The only issue is that Quick Attack is such a terrible move. Along with that, if your opponent is carrying if your opponent is carrying a Shadow Machamp or a Primeape, you will die. Or Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee. Not much Hitmonlee, but probably Hitmonchan. Skull Bash goes through. Because we got the defense debuff, this crunch will not KO. So all we have to do is just Ice Shard down. Literally just Ice Shard down. And now we got hella energy for that back row, yo. Now they have their Nidoqueen. If they elect to want to fire, they're going to win CMP. So it doesn't really matter in this instance. And they send in a Muck. And I'm like, what the heck? Why though? Well, it's okay. So I'm going to Skull Bash here, but this is overkill. So I'm going to Skull Bash, and then I'm going to combo in, and with the 1-2 air combo, Street Fighter 6, Metsu, Hadouken, Shoryuken, our Marvel vs. Capcom, amazing power as well. This will KO this whole Muck. Now our opponent has to fire an Earth Power to kill here. So I got to blow all of their energy, and all I have to do is send in Dugong. One Icy Wind goes through, and that's game. So as you see here, I send in the back row, and my opponent's like, ah, crap. Well, this is game. Because no matter what they do, Earth Power will only put me in the yellow. Meanwhile, one Icy Wind will kill, and that's GG's. Again, if you get the mirror match, it really depends on who fires first. But if you get the bait, you'll be ahead of energy. So that's really how you have to play it nowadays. Unless you fire on CMP. Which you're going to see example next battle. Go Battle Eye takes my soul because my opponent did top left before the battle ended. So that's game. And this last battle, if you do win CMP, here's the thing. If your opponent wins CMP against you, you should probably shield. Because if it's an Earth Power and if there's crazy like I am, and they will fire an Earth Power through 2 shields? Yes, that happens a lot nowadays, so you should probably shield. In this instance, this is Legend on Legend action, but you can probably guess what's going to happen here. I'm going to go for my Earth Power. Now, mind you, my Nidoqueen actually has a little bit of tack. I like that just because I want to win CMP. As you see here, we both fired on CMP because my opponent didn't get an extra one through. And remember what I told you about being crazy? That 69420 Earthquake comes to the ground. Magnitude is so freaking high. My opponent's like, bro, I gotta go. Because you know what? I'm dead. And that's dang. GG's. Yeah. Heed my words of advice. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And yes, this ABB team, as you saw, is pretty dang sweet. Also, make sure y'all shield those Earth Powers, because if they come through, you're going to see a giant explosion come from the ground. A volcano of hell. And then that might be you saying GG's. But I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. As you see, this team is really solid still. And if you power up these components, they'll likely be viable in another one. I would say the only thing that's really rough is probably Dewgong. Just because, well, both Dewgong and Lapras. Because with Lapras, Ice Shard is a legacy move. And for Dewgong, it's double legacy. So Ice Shard and Icy Wind are both legacy moves. Given you can also put Aqua Jet for your Dewgong, just to put the extra expensive there, it might help you with that Alola Marowak matchup, especially if it's Shadow, because Aqua Jet fires faster. But most of the time, you'll generally be using Icy Wind, unless it's a fire type like with Water Pulse. But I don't want to use 3 Elite TMs for 1 Dewgong, and yeah. But I would say that's the only thing rough on this team. The good thing is these Pokemon will have long-term investments, so you'll see them on other theme cups, etc. Especially Nidoqueen. Like for the Halloween Cup, or let's see, Halloween Cup is one of the big ones I noticed. Retro Cup, Nidoqueen's still really good. Of course, Open Great League, so yeah. That, or if they have like a ground-specific cup, Nidoqueen would still be real. Nidoqueen... Well, I wouldn't be that good because of poison, but it would depend on like whatever other types are mixed in with that ground typing, so. But please do me a huge favor. Please like and subscribe and comment for the Yuku algorithm. I really do appreciate y'all do that. And also, I stream on Twitch, and it's going to be wonky. Like I said, I'm going to try to switch my schedule to like nighttime rather than the mornings, but also do some morning streams just to make up for that. But yeah, it just really depends. But either way, I do appreciate all that stop by, and I do appreciate y'all that support me here. So yes, I hope y'all are enjoying your battles. Go Battle League isn't completely fixed right now, and it's just like you, I'm still getting used to the new, like, always new fast move sneak in, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so it's annoying, but, you know, we just deal with it. Deal with it, adapt with it, and then just get those dubs. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.
That I need, all the things that I have craved, these are what I could have received. There's one more